Hello everyone, my name's Jaleesa, JJ Movie /Game Reviews everybody. And now everyone, I'm going to give you my original Season 3 Episode 1 review. This episode is called For the Next Millennium. Basically, this episode had a lot of great flashbacks to episodes of the originals. This takes place like 6 months after the original Season 2 finale. So, Klaus has alienated himself from his family. Rebecca's off doing her own thing and being a human. Freya is writing to her about the difficulties of how Hope is missing her mother and how Klaus is just trying to be there for her, but it's not really helping that much. Also, Elijah and Klaus are just not talking to each other. Klaus is not defending him. Klaus is not basically apologizing to Elijah or about what he did to Haley, about what he did to Gia. He's not apologizing. Klaus is an unapologetic character, and he's trying to turn over a new leaf. You can see that. And also, Elijah's just not having none of it. He's not going to listen to Klaus in that sense, and no. What also is happening, Marcel has his own Fight Club thing. He's now ruled New Orleans. Klaus gave it to him, the city. And he has his own vampire community. And Davina, she's no longer working with the vampires. She can't help Marcel, and she has her own witch coven. Just like I said at the beginning about with Davina, how I thought at the end how she's going to have struggles facing against different witches. Which is basically the whole thing about New Orleans and the whole witch community. They're all hypocritical assholes, in my opinion. I'm a great big fan of Davina. I do enjoy her character. I believe she got a little bit hypocritical in season 2, but that's expected. She's young, and because since she's a young leader, I don't want her to turn to darkness or turn to the dark side, because this is what the New Orleans witches will do. The New Orleans witches want power. Davina doesn't want a war with the vampires for a turf. Basically, she explained that to them, so one of them just try to burn her hand and ruin her hand. Her own coven, her own witches don't even want to listen to her for that stuff because she's young and they believe she's inexperienced or whatnot, or they don't like the fact that she's making peace with vampires. They're power-hungry lunatics just like the vampires. Again, sorry for the little rant, but witches are hypocritical. Except for Davina. Davina has her standards in some cases, but she's young and experienced. Also, let's just say this. This episode also had Elijah just killing anybody who tried to kill Haley's wolves. Basically, a whole bunch of people with guns. They're coming into there just going to shoot up all the wolves, catch them as much as they can, and basically tear down the body so they can make condos and, all that stuff for the rich side. And for the government to prosper the land. And the thing is, though, Elijah's not having none of it. He's killing all of them he can. He's trying to save as many wolves as possible. We get this interesting new character, but we don't get officially a name. But I really hope to see where it takes that. Also, at the end of this episode, we also had Davina. She basically trapped Haley, and she needs her help with something. I really hope it's not something to use against Klaus, because why start a war with Klaus? He's not doing nothing to you officially. Haley wants revenge over Klaus in some cases, but in my opinion, what I didn't really like about Elijah and Haley, how Elijah and Klaus are always against each other right now, is the fact that because of Haley. Yes, Klaus saved Haley, and he meant it for the greater good, and Haley did take Klaus' child away from him first. Klaus didn't take Haley's away from the baby, but Haley did it from Klaus. And more likely, that's the issue that's really going to handle just during the season, with, to me, in my opinion, with Klaus and Haley. They're just going to be against each other's throat, and the ultimate fact is who betrayed who first. And in some cases, it was technically Klaus, but it was a lie to how he killed Aiden. So I do not find that like he really betrayed her in a sense. If I feel like she betrayed him because she took the child away. Granted, I believe she had certain rights about taking the child away, like post time, but like a little bit for like a good month or two. But she wanted to take the child away permanently, which I thought was you just want to make an enemy of Klaus, which I just don't know why they do that. Also, Freya was partying. She was babysitting Hope all this time. We also get a new serial killer on the loose, which is probably Lucian, who carves basically everyone like the Joker smile, basically, and leaves his victims around. Lucian, and if you're all wondering who Lucian is, well, Lucian is the Klaus' storyline. He was one of the first people that Klaus ever sired, possibly the first. We get this wonderful flashbacks episode where Klaus and his family are not compelling people. This is right after they're running away from Michael. They're trying to survive. They don't know nothing about compulsion, how to make vampires, what their strength, what their weaknesses are, what could kill them or whatnot. And like how I like how Klaus is just not a killer in the flashbacks. You see him killing, but there's also this haunted look of him killing people. It's not very daring of him. When there's a choice to kill this guy Lucian, who they spare, and where not to go into this court and to make fake, basically disguise themselves as royals and to get into this land and live amongst the people in plain sight. So they want to live in the woods. We and Cole and uh, Cole and Elijah want to kill the Lucian. Rebecca and Finn, they don't want to, and it's ultimately to Klaus. And I find it interesting that Klaus didn't want to kill somebody. I find this great aspect of what Klaus was before he became such a murderous vampire. I mean, a murderous hybrid that he is. What made him turn so dark, and we see there still is some hope with him. We still see the innocence in some cases, the age before he became full dark. But overall, I was happy to see the flashbacks episode. I was very entertained with the flashbacks episodes. I wish this entire episode was revolved around the flashbacks. Because the originals are so classy as characters. And we get the original Cole and Finn, which I just greatly enjoyed. And we also had the original Rebecca as well. And I thought that was just awesome, in my opinion. I just love the flashbacks. There is a new threat, apparently, with the Siren. Lucian warns Klaus about the Siren line, to how there's a war between them. And they know about how if one original dies, that they all die, and they're just warning about the Starlights. We also get this interesting character called Aurora, who Klaus is smitten with in the flashbacks, and we actually see her at the end, and she's a vampire. We can easily tell, doesn't know which Starline, but she's like in this Asian place. She ripped a monk's throat out when she rested on a piece of paper, but you don't know what it is. And who knows what it could really be? It's a war against the Starlines. It's going to be interesting, this new take of the originals. Will Klaus get redemption and forgiveness? Also, let's just say this. Klaus and Cammy, his therapist, Klaus is trying, but when he really wants his way, he really wants his way. And when he gets hurt, of course, he resolves to anger issues. I like to see his exhibit, and I hate for the fact that, that poor guy that judged Klaus's artwork. Oh, you poor stupid dude. But overall, this was a solid episode of the originals. It's not my favorite of the premieres. I say this is my least favorite. I liked season 1 a lot, the premiere. I like season 2 very much, the premiere of the originals for the season. But season 3, it was good. It could have been better in some cases. They actually progressed a little bit more in the story, but I'm glad that they're taking their time. Unlike the Vampire Diaries season 7, they didn't rush things. They didn't rush certain characters. They didn't rush to add to action. They did a lot of storyline, plot lines, and I was very interested with the storyline, and I can't wait for the next episode of Originals. Originals is one of my favorite shows of all time. I love the Originals. I love the Originals more than Vampire Diaries right now, but overall, for Originals Season 3, Episode 1, for the next Millennium, this is going to be a very interesting take of the Originals. I'm really hoping the storyline is going to be really great. I don't think it's going to be better than Season 2 because of Dahlia. I don't think it's going to be better than Season 1 about the beginning of the Originals and with the baby. But overall, I'm looking forward to Vampire Diaries, the Originals Season 3, and I'm looking forward to the whole storyline war, and I cannot wait for it. Alright everyone, when they release, signing off everyone. Subscribe if you like, the screen down on the bottom, leave a comment down below, let me know. Just let me know what y'all think of everyone about this episode. Alright everyone, I'm Jaleel signing off everyone. You give a day everybody. Bye bye.